Hello, everybody. Donnie here. Welcome. Here we share true stories from real people. Starting out today with the first story, it reads, Update. Am I the a-hole for wanting to be away from my twin sister? Original story. So this is a throwaway account because my siblings are here too. English isn't my native language, so there might be some mistakes. Sorry about that. So I, 17 female, have two older brothers, 19 and 21, and a twin sister. I should mention that my family is pretty affluent. Ever since I remember myself, my parents encouraged me and my twin to compete with each other, and they always favored her over me. She always had their support, and I was expected to be considerate when I succeed on something more than she does. They asked me to give it up, but they never asked this from her. I do love her and my parents, even though I feel like I've been treated unfairly. Both of us aspire to be doctors. Had been for a long time. I studied really hard for it for a long time, as she did. This year we graduated and both of us applied for the same programs at the same university. The process is quite different here than it is in the United States. We can start med school right after high school if we get accepted. She wants to go to the same university as I do, and so does my parents. I, on the other hand, feel like I'm on my own and have a separate life from my sisters. I love her so much, but we've been together my entire life. She's an introvert while I'm an extrovert, so she followed me around most of the time. I always included her and made sure that she's happy, but it's been like this again for our entire lives, and I'm honestly tired of it. Not to mention that if we go to the same place, I would be expected to study with her and help her get high grades, and won't be able to study on my own and focus on my own success. And my parents will be mad if I succeed more than she does. It's been like this for the past 12 years, which will eventually hurt me. I just want to finally be a person of my own. This is where I might be the a-hole. I did accepted to 4 different universities, and she got accepted into 2. I waited for her to decide where she wanted to go and then made my decision. Like I said, a different place. And then she changed her mind and said that she wanted to go to her second option, the one that I chose. I said that's not a problem and I will go to a different place, one that she didn't get into. My sister got really offended and my parents are furious. Even though I explained myself politely and said that I love her but wanted to get a fresh start where nobody knows me, they demanded that I will go to the same place as my sister or else they won't pay for my degree. Then I said whatever and that I'll be fine on my own and left to my grandparents. When they came to talk to me, they just kept on saying how wrong and entitled I am. I really had enough, so I told them that I hate them for treating me like this. Now I'm refusing to talk to them and ignoring their calls. My brothers and grandparents are on my side, but everyone else is telling me that I'm an a-hole. So am I? Edit. Thank you so much for the support and ideas. I read all of your comments and they're all very much appreciated. My brother got me everything that I thought that I'd need, including my cat. I called the university to ask if my parents can unenroll me, and they can. However, since they never paid it will be difficult for them, and the university can try to delay them until my 18th birthday. My grandparents assured to me that they won't let them do something like that, but still, it's nice to have a plan B. School starts on Monday, and it looks like OTS settled for now. I will update you guys as soon as I have what I need to say. P.S. I don't feel like talking to them right now. It's like all the anger that I held against them is now very substantial. Hope I use the right word, and I feel like I need to cool down before deciding what's the next thing that I need to probably do, and can also use some time off. I think you're doing the right thing, and I think you're also doing the right thing for your sister too, because she needs to function on her own without you, and to live her own life. Best of luck to you, OP. Now for the comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, you have the right to choose what is best for you. You have a twin and that doesn't need to define who you are. If you need and feel like you need some time apart, then that is what you need. No one can blame you for what you feel. Your feelings are yours and yours alone. I would talk to your family though, sit down at the table and have a relaxed conversation. Tell them how you feel. Don't go away screaming and say, I hate you. You always put up me against my twin. Say instead that you feel like there has been favoritism, that you feel like it has been a constant battle, but most of all, you need time and space to be just you. Not you and your twin. You are your own person. Tell your sister how much you love her and your parents too, but this is for yourself. Make sure that they listen. It might be hard, you might cry, but don't scream or shout. Tell them you love them a lot. Try it after dinner when everyone is eaten and everyone is in a good mood. How they're going to react, that we don't know, but remember, you are in charge of your own reaction, but you cannot control theirs. Good luck to you. Not the a-hole, and this is the process of individualization, which sounds like it was delayed because of the parents' constant pressure to keep the twins the same. It's important that parents or caregivers allow children to undergo the individualization process. While parents may want children to live in the same way that they do or embrace the same values that they have, they must recognize and respect the fact that their children are unique individuals with their own paths in life. If the parents are not willing to do this, it is important for OP to demand and make it so for herself. Now for the update. Update. Hey everyone, sorry it took some time, but I'm here with an update and had some problems publishing it, but it's all good now. Reminding that English is not my native language, so there might be some mistakes. So, as I think I said in the comments, school started 2 weeks ago, and so far it's absolutely amazing. I have great roommates and I love my classes. It's a bit intense, but I'm keeping up. It's truly a dream come true. Well, some things happened. My parents apparently called my university and asked for my schedule. From what I understand, they said that as my legal guardians, they are entitled to know everything about it. The school told them that if they want my details, they need to come and prove that they are indeed who they claim to be and inform me about it. It happened just a couple of days after school started. They haven't contacted me until a week ago when they asked me to have dinner with them, even offered to drive to where I am, which is strange as they never even bothered to pick me up from friends, and I agreed. It was on Friday. They reserved the place in a fancy restaurant nearby. Dinner went surprisingly well, a bit awkward, but they were nice. Then they told me that they will pay for my school tuition and everything else that I need, but only if I take a gap year. I refused, obviously. After arguing with me, my dad said that he had enough of my attitude and ungratefulness, left a 200 francs bill and left. I'll admit that I sat there crying about a half an hour before I left with the change, as the bill and the tip didn't reach 200 francs, lol. If you're asking yourselves what was that about, then I did too. I talked to my brother. Apparently my sister decided that she doesn't want to go to med school. She wants to take a vacation to think about the future with a clear mind or something like that. And you guessed it, almost everyone thinks that I should go with her. After all, we are twins and it will only be fair that we start studying at the same time. There was no contact from my parents ever since, but it's okay by me. I got a scholarship, and by the end of the semester, I might get another one. My grandparents paid for the rest. They insist that I won't pay them back, but I'm already working on that. My sister answered my messages yesterday. She told me that I hurt her because I didn't want to be with her, and she doesn't know if she can forgive me. I understand her, and I do really miss her, but I don't want to give up on my dream. I hope she will understand me someday. So basically, I think things are all right by now, and not much changed, but I have my grandparents and my friends, so I'm fine. I'll be completely calm only after my 18th birthday, when my parents won't be able to get me out of university. It's really soon, so I'm optimistic. Thank you all for reading and helping me. I really appreciate it. Edit. Thank you all for the comments. I'm on a pretty tight schedule, so I still haven't done reading, but I promise I'll answer to all of them. Since some of you got confused over the francs, we use them in Switzerland. Edit. 2/1/2023. Hey guys, I guess you can call that an update for the update. Just felt like I wanted to let you all know how things are going. I'll keep it short so I won't reach the limit. I'm honestly very happy here. I've been studying like crazy through the material. Is easy, so it's okay. I'm still not talking to my parents. They tried to reach out, but I'm still not interested right now, at least. I don't know nor interested in knowing what they wanted to say. I did talk to my sister though. She's currently in South America living her best life and searching for purpose. This is more or less a translation for her words. It will soon be exam season and it's pretty stressful, but I'm confident in most of my courses. Hate physics though. I don't know if there's an update for editing, but If there is, you can ask on things I missed on my little update and I'll answer. P.S. Thank you so much for your support. Sorry I couldn't answer to all of you who sent me messages. I promise I'm doing my best. Story 2. Update. Husband 35 male blew up my barbecue and blames me 34 female for our marriage falling apart. Do we come back from this? Original story. I 34 female and my husband 35 male have just gone through the biggest fight we've ever had, and it seems like divorce is inevitable. We have been together for 7 years and married for 2. No kids yet, but I recently found out that I'm pregnant, and so it's early in the pregnancy that only mom, 58 female, knows as of now. About 2 months ago, everything was fine in our relationship. We live in Toronto in a condo, and we just got a puppy a couple of weeks ago. We obviously had the usual spats like most couples here and there, but nothing unmanageable. Recently, my husband got it into his head that we should move to Calgary due to its cheaper cost of living and the raising expenses in Toronto. It was worth considering. I was not and still not 100% sold because one thing my husband refuses to consider in this decision is that we have a lot of family here. If anything were to happen, I know that we'd have support from them, and out there we'd be on our own. More info. We are very close with my family. My mom, brother, 32 male, and sister-in-law, 27 female, live about 20 minutes away, and we see them and my extended family very often. We are not so close with his family. He has no communication with his sisters and only tolerates his parents. His parents never really accepted me because of my religion, and despite trying with them several times, it came to the point where he only communicates with them. I try to push him to mend those relationships because I think he needs it. Family kind of fell apart when he was 17, and he seems really like being around family ESP when he's with mine, so I figure with my pregnancy, maybe we can start from scratch with his side of the family and building that relationship again. He was actually on board with my messaging his sisters and letting them know that I was pregnant. The problem, on Saturday, my brother had a barbecue, and we and our new puppy went over. About a week before the barbecue, my husband told my mom about Calgary. My mom was not a fan, as she didn't want and didn't think it was a good idea for us. I wasn't thrilled either because we have nothing planned, and I felt there was no need in mentioning it yet as we didn't even know when and if we were going to go. During the barbecue, I asked my husband not to mention it because I saw how upset it made my mom, and I wanted to have a good time. He promised me that he wouldn't. Now a bit more background. My brother got married last year and had his reception this year in May after his wife got her visa to come to Canada. My mom helped with the finances for both events. My brother feels like it's not fair that he got a wedding and a reception and I didn't get either. We got married in City Hall and didn't do a reception and got a condo instead. So during the barbecue, we were talking and my brother said that he should think about it and throw a little party. To be honest, I would consider it now, but my brother doesn't know I'm pregnant and I don't feel like I want to do that now. I'd rather focus on our future with the baby. During this conversation, when my brother said, "Think about it," my husband says in front of everyone, "F that. I don't want to feed those people. We are going to Calgary." I was very upset at this because first, he wasn't supposed to mention Calgary, and second, the way that he said it was so rude. My husband noticed my mood changed and asked me what was wrong. When I told him privately why I was upset, he got mad at me for my feelings and decided he wanted to leave the barbecue. Keep in mind, we came in one vehicle and we had the puppy with us and all of his stuff. The barbecue was pretty much done, so we really were going to leave soon anyway, but my husband made a production of looking for car keys and making a grand exit. When he couldn't find the keys, he kept rudely asking me to give him the effing keys. We were by the front door and I told him to go outside and calm down. Give me a few minutes to pack up the puppy and we would leave together, but he was adamant. When I didn't give him the keys, he raised his voice and started swearing more, and that's when my brother came to see the commotion. He got into a verbal argument with my brother, and my sister-in-law dragged my brother away, but words were still exchanged. I was crying at this point because he's never been this way in front of my family. I gave him the keys, and he ran to the car. I went after him to calm down and wait for me, but he drove off while I was standing right there. The neighbors saw it, and it was such a commotion. I know in hindsight I should have just given him the keys, but in the moment I really didn't think how along those lines, and I was worried about how it would look that he just drove off and left me and our puppy behind, and I'd have to ask one of them for a ride home. When I tried to call him on the drive, he said it was all my fault, that I caused his character to be assassinated in front of my family. My maternal grandparents live with my mom and heard the yelling too, that I don't respect him and I should have just obeyed him. When I got dropped off, my mom was afraid to let me be alone with him, but I told her I'd be okay and thought we could talk it out. In trying to talk, he continued to say it was all my fault, but I felt that he was to blame too, as he could have just left and called an Uber or gone for a walk instead of raising his voice and bringing the unwanted attention. I didn't like that he didn't consider for 1 second how his pregnant wife and puppy were going to get home. Talking led to more fighting and airing a lot of dirty laundry. All the repressed feelings and resent bubbles over, and things from past fights surfaced. This back and forth of arguing and talking has been going on for the past 2 days. We both haven't gone into work and are questioning if we should be together. I don't know if divorce is the answer here, but what I'm really wondering is if he's right. Was it my fault and I was being respectful? Do we try to reconcile or let this relationship go? Any insight is appreciated, and thank you in advance. I would definitely suggest marriage counseling. That would be a start in getting to the healing process. Best of luck to you. Additional information. Hi everyone, thank you very much for everything that you've said. I've literally read every single comment and thought I should provide more information and an update. Let me apologize for the title. It should say husband blew up at barbecue. Neither of us drinks. This happened while we were sober. So people were wondering if we see my family too much, and it might be a lot for my husband to handle. We see them maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, typically on the weekend. Often it's only a drop in to say hello and grab some food. More often I drop in on my own. Some people think my family might be too involved in our relationship. My husband has often said that my family has done more for him than any of his family ever has. And in fact, when he first had the idea of moving to Calgary, he suggested that we tell my mom right away and move her out there with us. My husband is willing to have my mom move in with us to assist with the childcare. Also, my extended family has experienced a lot of and are very knowledgeable when it comes to life lessons like buying a home, and it's always my husband's idea to seek them out and ask for their advice before we do something. My husband knows I'm pregnant, as we have been trying for a few months. He was the first person I told, and my mother's second. Yes, I did say that he's never blown up like that in front of my family before, but he has in front of me many times. Sometimes our arguments go to the point where he says that he's going to leave or start shouting at me angrily. I'm not going to say I'm completely blameless, as I do shout back, but at the end of most of them, I end up crying, apologizing, and then we're good again. For those wondering about culture being at play, we are both first-generation North American. He was born in the USA and I was born in Canada. He's a dual citizen. We are both of South Asian descent, but come from different religious backgrounds. Neither of us is particularly religious, but we respect that our parents are. Now for the update. We've been talking and arguing on and off since all of this has gone on, and I even showed him a lot of the comments. He thinks the comments are not worth putting stock into because everyone who has commented was not there in the situation. I asked him to read my posts and tell me if I made an error in recounting what happened, but he didn't find one and felt that I was accurate. I suggested we do some counseling, as I suspect that this blow-up has some roots in his anger issues, which have been unresolved since his family sort of fell apart. He goes back and forth agreeing to do counseling and then saying that he doesn't want to. He thinks that I need to be the first to apologize and beg for his forgiveness, and then he can apologize for the subsequent things that he did afterwards. When he says obey, he means it in the traditional sense where women in the relationship are subservient to their husbands. For those who wondered about our financial situation, it's not good. He lost his job 2 months ago and has put in to return to his former place of employment. He's still in the process, as it takes time even to be rehired. During this time, he has been home while I continue to work. He had received a huge retro pay before all of this and promised to buy me a ring with that money. When he lost his job, the smart thing to do was use that money to help ensure that we could get by, and that's what we have been doing. But that also meant my ring got put on the back burner. I'm not going to lie that I wasn't annoyed by that because my ring has always been on the back burner, but I also know that the smart thing was to hold on to that money to get us by. During our arguments, I finally was able to express how I've been feeling in our relationship. I let him know that for the last 7 years, I felt like he was very dismissive and devalued about how I felt about anything. Whether the issue be big or small, anytime I expressed my feelings towards something, I was often met with comments that I don't want to hear or it was brushed off. So for the course of a relationship, I've often had to push down my feelings so that it wouldn't cause a rift between us. And these last few days, all that bubbled over. He felt that I was explaining all this out of the blue and under the influence of my mother. I tried to explain that it feels out of the blue for him because each time I tried to express myself in the past, he shut me down, so now for him, it's the first time. He believes I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, that the trivial things he does or certain behavior he exhibits are not as bad as things could be. For example, when I say he has some anger and attitude issues to work out, his reply is that I should be grateful that it's only that minor and that he's not actually being physically abusive, that the girl who gets beaten and starved and raped has it worse than my problems are. I don't think that's a fair comparison to make. I'm not saying those women have it easy, of course not, but problems in our relationship that matter to me should be considered important too. He asked me to make a list of the issues that I have with him, and with each item he provided 1 or 2 examples where he proved otherwise, but what he doesn't seem to grasp is that it's the overall lack of effort in our marriage that bothers me. One example of this is that I work longer hours than he does. Also, my commute is about an hour, if not more. So during those 2 months while I'm at work and he's at home, it bothers me that he can come home and see his lunch plate and sitting on the table. I don't get why he can't pick up after himself, especially if he's home all day. He says that's a minor thing, but I think it boils down to respect. I'm the one who has to work all day and is tired when I come home, so leave it for me makes me feel disrespected. His response to this is to show me videos of women saying they put up with their husband's minor flaws because of what he provides. To be honest, I know this is a minor flaw, and if we are sitting together, I have no issues grabbing his plate with mine when we get up from the table, but I feel like it's different when he's home and I'm working. We eventually got to the point where he started crying and said he didn't know that I thought he was such a terrible person, and he can't believe that I've been miserable for the last 7 years, that we should get a divorce because I'm so unhappy. He also said that he tried his best with his limited means, and it saddens him that it's not enough for me. That despite his lack of knowledge, he tried to make my life easier and give me opportunities to use my knowledge and skills to help our family. This is where my head starts to break for him because I know that he was at a disadvantage due to his family falling apart. He didn't get to learn certain skills or have a role model to look up to. I feel pain when he says those things because I know I'm the only person in his corner to help him. I just feel like not everyone grows up with the same opportunities as everyone else, but if you want to succeed in life, then you got to put in some effort and hard work. If you don't know something, learn it. If you're unsure about something, find someone to ask. Eventually, we ended up at a stalemate. I said I thought counseling would benefit us and especially him, and he says that he would only do it if I apologized to him for letting this fight go on for so long. That I should have begged for his forgiveness already and be a good wife. Then, only then, would he consider therapy. I feel like I couldn't look myself in the eye if I did that. I know some people thought that I should have just given him the keys that day, but in the heat of the moment, that didn't happen. I feel like there's 1,000,001 things he could have done differently too. So I shouldn't be the one to apologize, and his actions after that day, due to his uncontrollable anger, are far worse than my not giving him the keys. During the stalemate, he starts to say that once he leaves me, I'll have what's coming to me because I'll be 34 and single and alone. I won't be able to find a man and I'll look back and regret this. I really feel like, despite my better judgment, I tried my best to salvage whatever I could of this relationship. But if he can't give me effort to try to work on it, then we are doomed. I'm seeking out counseling for myself as I know that there's a lot for me to talk through. I don't know about the baby yet. I have my age to consider and I've always wanted to be a mom. I have my family to support me if I do end up being a single mom. What I want to know is, at any time during all this, should I have done something differently? That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.